and thank you so much for tying in to this special tour, the first time ever coming live from the downtown Honolulu. I'm Isaac Lopez, and I'm your tour guide for today. So nice to have you here with us in this beautiful day. And if you're joining us on YouTube, well, feel free to smash that like button and subscribe for more historic tours of Hawaii. We are here in beautiful downtown Honolulu, as mentioned, and this is a very popular place for touring. When you come to Honolulu, you can see to my left, your right, people from all over the world come to this historic location. And right behind me, what we find is a statue that's iconic. This is the gold statue of a famous king here in Hawaii named King Kamehameha. Try saying that if you can. Kamehameha. Some of you can. If you can, it's good for you. If you can't, that's okay. You'll work on it. But during here in Hawaii, when you come visit, you'll find many extraordinary names, and this is one of them. This is King Kamehameha. And he is known to be the king that united all of the Hawaiian islands together. You see, back in the days in the 1800s, all the Hawaiian islands were divided. They all had different chiefs. And King Kamehameha was the one who united the islands together to be under one king. So this is a very historic statue here. What you find right behind us is like the courthouse. And this is this statue here is basically displaying King Kamehameha's rule, right? Now, we're going to be visiting 3 locations. Here is the courthouse. Right across the street from here, if you look that way, we have Iolani Palace. That is the palace where the royals lived. And right across from there, on that end, we have a church. And that is the first church of Hawaii. And during this tour, we're going to be learning about how the Bible has influenced Hawaii and its culture, the way Hawaii is ruled or was ruled, and how it has influenced the Hawaiian culture. So it's a very fascinating tour, and I hope you enjoy it. Now, this king here, King Kamehameha, started the kingdom in 1810. And as mentioned, the islands were once separated by many chiefs, but he's the one that united. Now, we're going to walk a little bit closer so we can get a closer look of the statue. Now, because of this rulership by one king, the Hawaiians understood that there was a king, and they understood the kingdom concept. So the citizens understood that they would follow one king, and they would all live under the law. And the idea of a king offering protection and prosperity. So when the transition of the Bible's kingdom message came, when the missionaries introduced the Bible, the Hawaiian people could easily relate to the idea of a kingdom. Not just an earthly one, but God's heavenly kingdom. The Bible says at Daniel chapter 2, verse 44, that God's kingdom will crush and put an end to all human governments and will itself stand forever. One kingdom of peace, justice, and a true life. So therefore, when the Hawaiians received this message, they understood that there was one king and that his will was done. Now, you may recall in Matthew 6:10, there it says that Jesus taught his followers to pray for God's kingdom. So therefore, when the Hawaiians learned about God's kingdom, they understood that Jesus was king and that therefore the citizens would follow his laws. Now we're going to make our way across the street now, and we're going to go to see where the royal family lived. Now, in the meantime, we will take some questions, comments. If anybody has a question regarding King Kamehameha and here the Justice Court, you can take some questions here.
Friends, feel free to open your microphone. You have the opportunity to do so. You can also raise your hand and we will open the mic for you. However you want to do it in an organized manner. Like there is a question by Lori Yorker. Lori, what is your question?
Was this king's family still ruling when Hawaii became a state?
So this king was not ruling at that time. Hawaii later became a state later on, and we'll talk about that tomorrow in our next tour. So that's a really great question. When we tour Waikiki, we'll talk more about that.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for that question. So stay tuned tomorrow, friends, because we have another part 2 of this exciting tour. So, well, let's continue on with our tour. Now we are making on our way to Iolani Palace. And my friend Stalin has a real deal tour here.
Exactly.
He's going to share with you. Yes, thank you. If you notice closely, friends, the photo that you're looking at now, it doesn't have much around it, right? There's no streets, there's no cars, there's like a road, but there's no cars back then. And then also right in front of the gate we just crossed, what you see is that there is no paved road. So there's been some adjustments made to the palace since then. But did you actually know that this palace had electricity before the White House? Yes. The king, King Kalakaua, when he learned about electric lights, he invited Thomas Edison here, and he also adopted electric lights before the White House. So Hawaii has been very involved in innovation. They love new technology, and they're very much involved with renewable energy. So here we are standing in front of this historic palace. Now, this palace was completed in 1882 and is a symbol of Hawaii's royal dignity. And it's the only official royal palace of the United States. So there's no other palace in the United States but here in Hawaii. Now, it reflects Hawaii's desire to be modern, yet uniquely Hawaiian kingdom on the world stage. ʻIolani means royal hawk. In Hawaiian culture, Hawaiian hawk is a symbol of royalty and spiritual protection. Naming the palace Iolani ties the monarchy to both earthly leadership and higher spiritual protection. Now, Christian influence through the wife of King Kalakaua named Kahumanu. So this queen, the wife of King Kalakaua, she was a very powerful queen. And she became a Christian after the missionaries came here to Hawaii. Now, she abolished the kapu system. What is that? Well, kapu is an ancient set of religious laws and taboos. Because she realized its conflict with the Bible teachings about freedom and justice. So once you can see the influence of the Bible here in the laws of Hawaii. Now, King Kamehameha III and the first Hawaiian Constitution ruled during the time of the Great Change. Under his leadership, Hawaii adopted its first constitution in 1840. Heavily influenced by Christian values, it emphasized how human rights, the rule of law, and the dignity of each person, ideas rooted in the Bible. Now, what we can reflect on this is how the Hawaiian kingdom tried to blend traditional Hawaiian identity with Christian moral teachings, showing how the values of God's kingdom, justice, righteousness, mercy, began to shape even national policy. So how much has the Bible influenced the laws and the values of the Hawaiian people? Well, we have a few photos of the inside since there's no recordings allowed of the inside. However, when you come to Hawaii, you are able to take a tour inside, and they do allow you to take pictures. Now, I've had the privilege to tour this inside the palace, and Stalin is going to show you a few photos of the inside here. And as he randomly shows them, I'll explain a little bit about what you're seeing. Beautiful. So here, friends, what you're looking at is the main area, the hall where judgments would take place. If you look closely, here you will see what the king would wear. Now, what you see, if we go to the next photo of what the kings would wear, we find that he has badges on his chest. And this clothing would be worn by King Kalakaua. Now we have a photo of King Kalakaua. We'll show you a photo of him. He is sitting along two other men, and he is in the middle of that photo, or three other men. There you can see him sitting down. That is King Kalakaua, the one who built this palace, and whose wife, heavily influenced by the Bible, changed the law here in Hawaii. Now we do have some inner photos of his room. I believe we have some photos of like leopard skin. Oh, you can see here, this photo here is showing how this area in which we are standing in was a cultural hub. If you look to your left over there, you'll notice that that photo was taken around this area here. And this was a cultural hub where people from all around the world would come here. And it was a place where there was a lot of events. So here, even till this day, Hawaii has an orchestra, a royal orchestra that plays here on certain days of the week. So what they'll do is they'll come here, they'll set up on this lawn with chairs. You can see the chairs to your right. And over here, the band will set up their stage and they'll perform orchestra music. And the people will sit here, relax underneath the trees, and they'll listen to the beautiful music. So till this day, it continues to serve as a place of entertainment for guests from all around the world. All right. Well, we're now going to make our way across here. And if you would like to continue to share more photos, Stalin, the inside the palace, I believe there's a photo of the dress of the queen. So the friends can see the type of clothing the queen would wear. Quite beautiful clothing. Some of the most beautiful clothing. And it makes me think about our sisters, how they dress themselves so beautifully for the assemblies and the meetings and service. It's such an honor to the King Jesus Christ when they dress themselves with dignity and modesty. It's such a reflection of that kingdom culture that we carry within Jehovah's family. The children from different schools will come here to tour and learn about the history of Hawaii. However, unfortunately, they don't talk about the Bible's influence, but on this tour, we get to discuss that, and we get to see how the Bible has influenced the culture here in Hawaii. The first church of Hawaii. We're going to see and learn about this historic church. But if, in the meantime, Stalin, would you like to share that photo that you shared at the beginning with the friends?
Yes, coming up.
Thank you.
But by the way, I show all the other pictures, the room with the leopard, the gigantic dress, and some of the comments on the chat were like, wow, if the weather in Hawaii is hot, I wonder how those people felt wearing all those clothing. That came from Lori, considering how hot it was.
Yeah,
And some of the friends are asking if when you talk about missionaries, are you talking about Catholic missionaries, a different group missionaries? What are you referring to?
I have to research, or maybe someone in our audience would like to Google search that real quick and drop another comment. I forget exactly what type of missionaries they were, but they came here to preach the gospel. This was before the witnesses existed, of course. But it's quite fascinating how that came to be. Now, tomorrow we will discuss a little bit more about the witnesses and how they got started. There's a few articles on the Watchtower Library that talks about how the first baptized publishers here in Hawaii were baptized in a church. Since there was no Kingdom Hall in those days, that was their only option. So There's a few articles I can share with you if you'd like to explore more on that story. It's quite fascinating on the Watchtower Library, the church. And you know what? Today was a good day to come because they were renovating it. So all of it was blocked out. But I'm looking now and it's open. So we're going to get the chance to go see where the Bible education started here in Hawaii. Quite exciting.
There, yeah, some of the friends have helped you. They're saying was the Seventh Day Adventist, and other people are asking, are there any descendants of the royal family left alive?
Oh, I love these questions, friends. These are fantastic questions. Thank you so much. So to address the first question, can you repeat that first question, Swan?
Are there any survivors for the royal family, the original Hawaiian royal family?
Yes, there is. In fact, when I was giving my group tour last year in September, I was sitting at the hotel waiting for my group, and I was approached by a sister who had just flown in from California. And she told me that she was part of the royal family. And she showed me her bracelet. She had a bracelet on that said Kapiolani, which is the name of the Queen of Hawaii, who defended Jehovah's name. And inside the bracelet, she had Jehovah's name. And she was actually coming to meet some family here at the Royal Palace. So I was very, very fortunate to meet her. And and I actually have a video of her. So I'll share that on Instagram or YouTube if you are following me on YouTube or Instagram. If you are, you'll be able to see that video coming very soon of myself meeting her. Such a privilege to meet her. And I believe there was a second question. Is that?
The second question, it was a question to you, but you said you're going to research whether the Seventh-day Adventists, the religious group that send their missionaries there, but you said you're not sure. You're going to check.
Yes. I'm going to check here.
Another question is, would you talk about how the Queen changed her marriage situation with her husband because of it? The other question is the person that you were giving the tour, is she a sister?
Yes, the one who found me and mentioned that she is part of the royal family. Yes, she is a sister.
Oh, wow. That is
Yeah.
amazing, Isaac.
Yeah, she's a sister. So I was so amazed to meet her, to see her bracelet, to see Jehovah's name, and then she told me she was coming to the royal palace to meet some of her family, and she's a witness. So
Wow. That's
yeah,
major, Isaac. Do you take a picture of her bracelet?
I did. Yeah, I took a video. I took a picture with her. So if you're not subscribed on YouTube or Instagram, please make sure to do so because it's going to be a great video to, you'll be able to see her and hear her voice. It's pretty special.
Thank you. I mean, this is an interactive tour, Isaac,
Yeah.
with audience participation.
Yeah, this is like if you were here with me in person.
No, that's very good.
Yeah, I love this.
Janet Carvello, it says that Google, it's only reporting that the missionaries were Protestant.
Protestant.
Yeah. It's not defined what group. And people are asking for the Awake or the Watchtower magazine reference. And friends, if you put your email on the chat, Isaac can send that information afterwards. So please put your email and your name and your phone number on the chat, and Isaac can send you more information about what's being taught today.
Yes, thank you so much, Stalin. So, friends, here we've arrived to the first church in Hawaii, as you saw the photo. And back in those days, there was nothing around. It was completely empty. There was no buildings, like little shacks here and there. No buildings in Waikiki, no resorts, just swampland and this church here, right across from the palace. Now, here you'll notice at the top here, You notice that there's no images, there's no crosses, there's nothing like that. And you'll notice that there's like a watchtower style here. It's like a watchtower. Do you notice that? There's a clock inside. Now, where did the Hawaiian people get the spirit of aloha? Right? We often hear aloha. Where did they get that? Well, aloha means love. It also means compassion. And it also means kindness. And these are all found in the Bible. They're mirrors of agape, the selfless Christian love. Now, what's big in Hawaii is the respect for elders and their ancestors, which is also tied into honoring your father and your mother. And the stewardship of the land connected with biblical teachings about caring of creation. And that's what you'll find here in Hawaii. The people are very conscious of taking care of the island, taking care of the land. And that's what we find also tied to Christian values. We take care of Jehovah's creation. We take care of what he created. So friends, what can we learn about this reflection on God's universal kingdom and the Bible and how it's related to Hawaiian culture and history? Well, Hawaii's story shows us that God's kingdom isn't about erasing culture. It's about bringing out the best qualities, refining them, and using them to glorify Jehovah. The kingdom message touched hearts of the Hawaiian deeply, just like it continues to reach hearts all over the world today. So friends, I hope you enjoyed learning about how Hawaiian culture has been influenced by the Bible, and hopefully you can join me for part 2 tomorrow as we walk through Waikiki and we continue to learn about how the Bible has influenced the culture of Hawaii. Please tune in tomorrow. We send you our warmest alohas.